Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician: The Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is episode 24 of our Confederate Spring 1861 campaign. Before I get any further, I did have a commenter on one of my videos ask about weapons procurement and how it seems to be very slow for him, and if there's any ways to speed it up. The only way that I'm aware of to speed it up is by continuing to order the weapons and bringing up their standardization levels. And that is the only way. So the more you produce of the weapons, the quicker you can produce them because they become better at producing those weapons. The only way around that is to have multiple sources of procurement. If you did notice during my campaign, I have been having weapons issues, and that was because of some deliberate choices I made, especially at the start of the campaign. So, and it's a good time to cover that, as weapons are becoming a major issue at this point. So one of the things I did at the start of the campaign is when you're choosing your starting policies, is one of them is called arms agents for the Confederacy. And what that does, it basically means you got to loot the Harper's Ferry arsenal, and you're now able to produce Springfield. They should have an option to say that you can produce Harper's Ferry's muskets, because they're basically the same weapon, but Harper's Ferry and Springfield muskets are basically the same thing. But I own a Harper's Ferry 42. But what it is I didn't steal the machinery, so I can't put the money into putting that machinery back together to produce those weapons. So right at the start of the game, I locked myself out of producing two types of weapons: the Springfield musket and the Springfield rifle musket, which I could have started producing from the start of the game. Another thing I locked myself out of, because I decided to use the money elsewhere, was legacy rifles, i.e. the Mississippis and the Plains rifles. I chose not to fund that because they are a great early game weapon, but they become useless toward mid to late game because they are even though they're accurate long range, they are very, very slow firing weapons. Another thing I did to lock myself out of weapons is I put zero money into diplomacy. So I put no money into diplomacy at all, which locked me out of all of the embassy decisions. Basically, we come over here to projects, take off everything and turn on diplomacy here. So by not putting any money whatsoever into diplomacy, I locked myself out of the Austrian rifles, the Lorenzes, and other weapons. I locked myself out of British artillery. I locked myself out of British rifles such as the Enfields, the Whitworths, stuff like that. I locked myself out of the French weapons. I locked myself out of the Prussian weapons. So I locked myself effectively out of procuring 5 or 6 different types of rifles for my military by not putting any money in diplomacy. At the same time, as I said, I did not put any money into the legacy rifles, which is right here, which are the Mississippi and the Plains. The only money I did do was the Confederate rifles, so I can produce the Richmond rifle and the Fayetteville rifle. And those are the only 2 weapons I've been able to produce besides the reboard muskets. And also, I'm also able to produce the Richmond carbine. So I can't choose this option because I did not take the weapons agents at the start of the game. So, like I said, the best way around slow weapons procurement is having multiple sources. And by having multiple sources, you can order all these weapons at the same time. Say and do it like the way I do it, like 10,000 weapon lots would be the cheapest way, probably the quickest way to arm your troops. And then slowly start to phase out the weapons you don't want anymore. As you get your weapons numbers to match your troop numbers, you could stop making the reboards. You could stop making the Springfield muskets. You could stop making the reboards. You could stop making the Springfield rifle muskets. And slowly phase those weapons out of your service, except for like an emergency brigade or like a brigade holding the fort somewhere. You just slowly phase them all out, and that's the fastest way of going about it. Me personally, I just deliberately locked myself out of those choices. And that's because I decided I needed that money in other locations. And I have. And there's just never been enough money at any given point to really do anything that I want to do. So it's a waiting game and a numbers game, which is what this game is about. It's all about the numbers. So, shouldn't come over to this section of the map yet. So moving on from there, let's do a little bit of recap here. So Smith's Corps has taken Chicago. We have totally flipped it over. But I can't do anything with him as of yet because he is now out of provisions for his men and forage for his horses. So, and the Army of Indiana showed up at his doorstep, but they only have 6,500 men. I could push them out to attack, but they're not going to fight. They don't have enough men. So I think they're just going to camp out there. And if I move him away down to Peoria and Quincy like I want to, so I could flip Illinois completely, they're going to pounce on Chicago, and I'm going to have to run him back up here. And his readiness is just not high enough for all that running around. So strategically, what we got going on is here in Missouri, Price's Corps, like I said, I really want to push them west, but these three armies are actually fairly large. Combined, they're fairly large. Separately, they're not. Army of Missouri has 11,000. Army of the West has 16,000. Army of the Missouri has 9,000. All three of them combined vastly outnumber Price's Corps of 27,000. Just these two alone outnumber him. And I should be handling the numbers problem with my troops pretty soon, as I do have Conscription Act running, and it will be complete in 11 days. So I'll be able to start using conscripts to backfill my corps. So a lot of these corps, you see like 25,000 men, 21,000 men. These should really be closer to 29,000 in all these corps. Like the Army of Northern Virginia is down to 19,000 men because I got to transfer Hampton back into his command, and Hampton's corps is down to 8,800 men. So these are their two lowest strength corps right now. And for all the fighting the Army of Shenandoah has done, they've stayed basically at their true numbers. They'll be a lot higher because they do have that 4th Infantry Division. So I can't push them out because these armies are here. Plus there are the other armies that were in the area, and I don't know where they have run off to. Florida Militia is still doing their siege. That hasn't ticked in any direction yet. So the big question mark here is these armies. See all these movement tracks? I got these three big boys. I got Army of Ohio 13,000, Army of Shenandoah 7,000, Army of Susquehanna 3,100, and Army of Cumberland look like it's following them at 10,000. Are moving down into Kentucky, possibly make a push into Tennessee. And I only have Hampton's Corps, which doesn't even have any men in it because that other division is still transferring to it, and that's like another 20 days away. And he'll only have 9,000 men, or less than 9,000 when they do arrive. So that's going to be a big issue. Plus we have these two armies up here, 3 armies, 4 armies up here. So, but this is a good problem to have because this actually means I completed my objective that I started out with 4 or 5 episodes ago, where I needed to relieve pressure on the valley because all those armies were mobbed up here. So that objective is now complete. So my plan for now, and it's probably going to be a stupid plan, but we'll see, is Jackson really can't do anything right now. I want him a little bit into the green before I have him do anything, but to give him time to lower that number of disabled men. Is I'm going to push him back down the valley and take on the Army of James. I know there's a second, possibly a third army there, but I should be able to handle that with his corps. Corps Carolinas now. I need to transfer you back under to Lee's command. Let's do that right now. Army of Northern Virginia. Oh, and his cavalry brigade and his final 2 artillery battalions are on the way. And I don't know if Carolina, because they're a Carolina-centric force, I don't want to raise a non-Carolina brigade to fill him out. So once I have more men, I can fill out his brigade there. That brings Lee back up to strength. So what I'm going to do now is I'm moving Corps Carolina up to Manassas Junction. And then I'm pushing the Corps to Potomac into Washington, D.C. And once I kick these two armies out of D.C. and he flips D.C., and I should be able to do it with these two corps, even though they're under strength, I should be able to take and hold it long enough to draw these armies back east again and then abandon it. Because what we were looking at here, so I got a little happy towards the end of the last episode, saying, hey, we're almost towards the end. We're not quite there. We do have to get national morale of the Union down to 25. Currently, we're at 51. Thing is, their national support is at 93. So they are still able to draw troops. Even though their national morale is low, national support is still high throughout the states. So they're still able to draw troops. If this number matched that number, all of his armies would be under strength and not able to replenish, because he'd have no recruits unless he had a draft running. And I don't think they've done that yet. I know they have working on bounties, but they haven't done the draft like me. So... And even though in that previous battle I knocked them down by 6,000 men, they are still sitting at 229,000 men in the field to my 146,000. That's mostly because they did take those cavalry reforms, so all those cavalry regiments are now turning into... All those 500-man cavalry regiments are now turning into 2,500-man brigades. So he's just exploding in numbers across the field. Casualty-wise, we're doing better than he is. He's at 109,900. I'm at 51,900. So we're about 2-to-1 on the casualties in the field. And that's not counting the attrition levels. That's not counted into that number. At least I think it's not. Hold on. I think there's a tooltip for it. Yeah, it does not count attrition. So, I'm going to go push forward that plan. I got to wait for them to come up this way. So, I'm going to pause right here. And I'll come back in once we have a change on the map. Alright, everybody. These armies now, and the Army of Cumberland is definitely following them. They are now further down into Kentucky and coming south. It looks like these two armies might be coming over here to support the Army of Indiana. Smith's Corps is finally starting to draw a little bit of provisions from the port, but not much. It's showing as blockade, and probably because the Army of Indiana is sitting next to it. So I do have them building a supply depot, so we can start filling them up via land. That's going to be a massive issue shortly if he does not get food. But Corps of Carolina is in position. And we're about to go kick down Lincoln's door. So let's go get his ass. Speed this up a little bit. There we go. Who we got here? David Hunter. So he has 20,000 infantry, 300 cavalry, and 10 guns to my 36,800 infantry, 683 cavalry, and 30 guns. So Corps of Carolina is 10 hours away. It's 1,300 on game. I don't know what time it is when we load on the map. Should be about that time. But we might be able to get this done before Corps of Carolina comes on the field, because our numbers are basically evenly matched without the Corps of Carolina. So I'm going to pause this here so we don't have to sit through that load screen, and I will be back. Here we are, gentlemen. We are at the doorstep of Washington, D.C. Boys, we're going to march up this road and drag that funny-looking monkey man wearing a top hat out of that office and rip our freedom from his hands. Let's get to this. So, enemy commanders on the field. Let's take a look. We're facing General Hunter's in overall command and General Keim. 25,000 men aggregate. Confident and eager. National morale that low? I don't know, but we are attacking into DC and they do control it. So, Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, Lee came in over here. Which is, yeah. Kind of wish he hadn't. He's going to have to try and catch up with the army at some point. Put the cavalry there. Lee will catch up, and I'll have the cavalry meet them on the road here somewhere. So they are defending Oak Grove Post Office. Or the Schumacher House, whichever that objective point is. What is it? Oak Grove, alright. So that's pretty straightforward, right up the damn center. So AI is probably set up down here somewhere. Because we know they don't set up on the points directly. But there are two armies, so one of them might be on the point, one of them be off the point. Or one could be sitting over here, because that is in a deployment zone for them. But both their armies should be on the field. They could also be over here at the milk house. But both their armies are on the field, since they were both in the city. So this looks straightforward to me. So we're just going to come straight up the road, find the enemy, lock them in, and then kick the ever-living crap out of them. And hopefully they are facing the wrong direction. I can just hit that ass again. But we'll see. We'll see. So I'm going to get my troops moving, and I will be back once I have contact with the Federals. Alrighty, we have found them, and they are actually at a good defensive point here. And they're a little too far ahead to get orders, so they're just taking artillery fire. Ugh. So I got my army slowly moving up. It's going to take a while for them to get anywhere. So I don't think we will be attacking them today. It is 1350. I still have to march these men up into position. So that's Army of Virginia there. Army of Virginia. Army of Virginia. Okay, I'm only seeing Army of Virginia so far. Where is their second army? They're both on the field. Maybe they're back by the objective point. So I'll have to ride one of the cavalry regiments out and around to find them probably. So I'm going to move my units into position. This is probably the best defense I've seen them put up so far. And then decide on a plan of assault. I will be back. Okay, I just started spotting a brigade from the Army of Washington. They just marched out of the woods over here. There's more dust trails there, so let me pause this a second, because I just formulated a plan of attack. So half an hour further on in game time for the day. And that just killed my plans, because I was having my infantry divisions march to over here to prep on assault in this direction, as these guys had no fortifications or fences to stand by. Excuse me. So I was going to attack here. Looks like the Army of Washington's over here. So kind of at a loss what to do right now until Corps Carolina possibly comes on the field. So I may have to do a two-front assault unless these guys marching down means they're going to come attack me. I will happily take that. Bring these guys down. Yeah, so where are they going? Yeah, I doubt they'll be there before, but I think I'll continue with that option. If I can set up a defense here and these guys throw themselves at me while these guys sit here, I'll take it. So I'll be back when something else happens. So change of plans. Looks like the Army of Washington's coming for me. I only see these 3 brigades so far. But it has definitely caused me to shift my plans slightly. So I have now double-timed Jones' division up to this fence line. I got Hill coming in behind him. But they're the only 3 brigades I see so far. And they're each at 3,300 strength. Now, that's something the AI gets to do, not something I get to do, sadly. Where's Hill? Alright, I think I need you to come in over here. Or were you boys being brave when you saw the cavalry and now you want to back off? Alrighty, if this turns into something, I'll be back. Alrighty, I think I'm sitting just outside of artillery shot right now from their defensive lines back here. So, I'm going to take this attack a little more deliberately than I normally would. So, I have called my engineers forward. I'm going to have them start constructing breastworks at the top of this hillock here. Because we do have some high ground right where I'm putting them, and once those breastworks are completed, I'm going to move my artillery in behind them. And if these guys sit there and oblige me, they'll be able to hit them. Plus, I do have that 1 battery of 10-pounder Parrots, so they should be able to start hitting whatever is in these defensive works once they're in range. So, just a little update on plans. I'll keep figuring out what I'm going to do as the situation comes across. So, I'll be back. Okay, looks like the AI is going to be aggressive this time. And they're bringing their army out of their defensive works. Which could be a plus for me. So I have these guys working on defenses for themselves. And I have Frost Division moving over here to this flank. So I might be able to bring them in along this way. I'm hoping. We'll see. But I'm letting this play slow right now, just so, like I normally would during the videos normally, but I'm letting this play slower than usual. Right now I'd be having it run at fast speed, so things get done quicker, but right now I'm not so sure of that. So I'll be back. I think my attack might have turned into defense. Oh yeah, this has turned into a defense. They are coming for me. They are marching right down the road at me. What are these guys doing? Okay, I've never seen them full court press before, but they are doing it. Artillery's coming up. Okay, Frost, change the direction. Coming in over here now. Digging those works. guns are almost up and they're in canister range. Alright, he's got his orders good. Centered. Cover that road. Yeah, that cavalry's just sitting there and taking it. There they go. Graham's Legion, alright. Wow, you guys haven't perked up yet, huh? They're hitting them pretty good. You gotta love those Fayetteville rifles. Okay, these guys got some cover now. You know what? Swing out this way. This is what happens. I look to make a deliberate attack instead of a hasty attack as usual, and it turns into a defensive fight. But they are giving me a flank to exploit, so I'm taking it. Because they're coming down this way and leaving this area exposed. You guys shooting at? Alright, good. Yeah, but those ones on fire at will, so that's fine. They basically just handed this victory to me. I thought I was going to have to dig them out. Guys, go snatch that artillery battery. How are you looking? Stovall's rifles, almost leveled. Alright, good. use every maneuver element I have. Whew, there were 500 casualties already. Let's keep laying into them. We're winning this fight, slowly but surely. That brigade's falling back, so you come up here. Advance it there. Same with you. Start getting fire on their flanks. They came right down the road at me. I can't believe it. Yeah, 15% casualties, so you're going to start pulling off. Look at that field of dead Yankees. There's their perk. This one I told them to advance more. That's all she wrote. Another damn shooting gallery because the AI did something stupid. Oh, let that brigade come forward. Let me rack up those casualties. There's the retreat. We have them at 18%. We'll shoot those guys. Oh, get me up to that major victory. Other brigade broke. I'm gonna shoot those guys in the ass then. Crap, well, you guys got main arts. Go and shoot them. They're ready to break. Charge them. See if we can't get them to surrender. No? Oh well. We got them at 19.8. I don't know if they're going to find anybody. We'll see if there's anybody who's not broken yet. I think that's it. Ain't going to catch no one else. Yep, that is all she wrote. Wow. Here I thought I was going to have this glorious attack and Marching to Washington, their army just threw themselves at us. I mean, damn. I took 1,300 casualties. No guns lost. Union took 5,000 casualties and lost 10 of their guns. Hunter, you are damn fool. Those are the casualties I should have been looking out for myself attacking him. Alrighty, I'm going to pause this here because once again, during those loading screens, my microphone breaks up for some reason, probably because of memory consumption, so I will be back. Alrighty, boys. It is time to go pay Mr. Lincoln a visit. So the Battle of Washington has ended with the Army of Virginia retreating in panic. The enemy suffered total casualties of 5,026 men, thereof 731 killed and 916 captured. Their morale is believed to be nervous. Our casualties total 1,334 men, with 191 killed and 196 missing, and the rest wounded. We captured 2,648 rifles and 7 guns from the field. Another 800 soldiers are now taking a vacation down at Camp Donaldson for the summer. Hope they enjoy themselves. Speaking of which, how many men we got shoved in there now? Oh, 17,700 prisoners shoved into that camp. That's why our state support is so high. So, I know Brambo discussed it in a previous episode of his, that he's seen their state support stay high, and I didn't see it in the beginning, but we're seeing it now. Our national support's still 93. That's like all the combined state support. So, whew. Also, on the load screen, it showed us that they dropped another full percentage point, so we got 25 points to go. And flipping D.C. will change that even further. So let's hit play here and get these battle modifiers knocked off. I mean, is anybody else as surprised? I started the recording just a few seconds too late, but they just started coming down that road en masse. I couldn't believe it. I mean, that was... I got no idea what they were thinking. Maybe go out in one last glorious charge because they knew they were going to lose? I don't know. And here they come. Here come the magpies. Alright. Jackson, let's get you moving. Back up to Winchester. Take back your home. This is your valley, no one else's. Let's pause this here. So I believe that's going to be it for this episode. Oh. Department of Pennsylvania's coming down. They only got 6,000. Army to James, 7,000. So Longstreet. I'm going to order you into Cumberland. I believe that is a good place for your army to go spend the summer. Or at least the rest of the spring. Ooh boy. Let's see what we're looking at here. So even though we gave them about 5,000 casualties in that battle, that only knocked them down to 226. Ooh. I have kicked that hornet's nest. You don't see these guys moving yet, but we haven't seen them in 3 days. We haven't seen this army since December. So Lord knows where they are. And you know these armies are about to start turning around. So hopefully my plan has worked. Oh, there's 4 armies there now. Oh yeah, I lost sight of the other 3, so that's one of the ones I lost sight of. So if these guys pull off, I'm running Smith down to, what is it, Peoria's next? Yeah, Peoria's next. Alright, it's been a few days. Let's take a look at the siege. Has moved. Alright, boys, we are on the doorstep of Washington. And we have once again kicked that hornet's nest, and it is going to get ugly. So, I believe we'll call it an episode here. If you're a new viewer, returning viewer, and you're enjoying and you have not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you've been following this series and enjoying the content, please hit that like button. Help me break through that YouTube algorithm. I'm not going to be accepting any more units into the Army, as we are now going into the end of the game, so I will be holding off on any further requests for units until I start the next campaign. So I will see you all at the next episode. Have a good one.